to, that's fine. Hey guys, how are you? It's me, author Jack Angelescu, and I decided to do this because when I first announced that I was, I had a book, I had more people writing me saying, hey, how do I do that? More than I had anybody saying, cool, how can I buy your book? Meeting with my ARC readers and being more involved in the community and seeing more and more people with the same dreams and goals and passions. Like, so many people don't know where to start. I've learned so much about people that I thought, hey, maybe I could just do this, to try to help people and answer some questions. And I'm just gonna preface this by saying, I am not a New York Times best-selling author. I wish. Manifesting it. Kind of like one of those things where what worked for me may not work for you, and what worked for Stephen King or Brandon Sanderson or Anne Rice or Sarah J. Maas or Colleen Hoover or whatever her name is may not work for you, and it may not work for me. So these are just things that are suggestions. I have got my cup of water. Okay, quick story. I was gonna have a really cute cat cup because I love cats. I was gonna have a really cute cat cup of an awesome latte, except for the fact that I bought oat milk from Dollar Tree. Don't ever buy oat milk from Dollar Tree. It had really good quality ingredients in it, so to speak, but then I went to go pour and it looked like I was pouring whey with curds in it. It was so thin and watery and chunky and kind of had a gray tinge to it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So, and then I have my favorite snack in the world, which these wouldn't have gone scratch, take two. These wouldn't have gone good with a latte anyway, but still, I would have burned my mouth off. I've got my questions up here and I am ready to go. If you find any of this information helpful, you can give me a follow on author Jack Angelescu. I'm gonna drop all the stuff somewhere on the screen of my Instagram and my Facebook page. I am the author of A Promise Kept, A Guardian's Travail. It is available right now on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. I will soon be on Ingram Spark, and I will also be at the RetroCon convention in St. Joe on June 14th. And also the sequel to that book, A Promise Remembered, the Persuvian Saga, ta-da, will be out this year. So be looking for those. Let's get down to business. So Jillian wants to know, when writing, do you have a structure pre-planned, lists written down with everything needed to lay out the world, or do you just start writing and fill it all in as you go? There's actually a fly by the seat of your pants term in the book community called pantsing it. I can't really quite remember. But for me, I actually had this idea for this trilogy over 15 years ago, and the story just kind of built as I went along. So it was kind of like, I will write glossary terms out when I'm inventing a world, kind of have a little bit of a map of the world so I can keep referencing it. And then sometimes I will have a character chart and stuff like that with their simple descriptions. There are some people that get really crazy with it. They'll have Google Docs and they'll have it's pretty intense. They'll have character profiles with an actual picture of the character, and they'll talk about their personality, where they were born, how tall they are, their favorite food, and it's pages and pages of character profiles. And then they'll design their own actual broad map that's an actual map that you see in the books. And then some people will even have I've seen an author on TikTok, she has post-it notes. Her whole wall is covered in post-it notes about what chapter is happening next and what she wants to have happen in that chapter. I tried that and it got to be, I would have a chapter outline. Okay, this is what I know for a fact what I want to do. And I tried to stick to that. I get in the moment and I want to kind of sit in that a little bit. And my editor sometimes wanted me to chop, 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 chop. And I'm okay, but now it just feels dog ran, dog ate food, dog sat down, dog panted. It's it was a little bit too much like that. I would recommend you to see what fits best for you. And sometimes you get surprised by your own ideas when you free write. I kind of, like I said, I tend to have a little bit of an outline, but I'm writing a romance novel that I know like the main 3 parts of the book and I have no idea what else I'm doing because I didn't have 15 years to plan it. So that one I'm a little bit more flying by the seat of my pants. I'll get ideas down of what I want to have happen and I'll scribble it down. You need to find what works best for you. And if you're writing like a big, huge epic book, it might help, but I kind of like to just have fun with it and kind of be surprised by my own writing and what comes out. Let's see, Nicole, my computer went. That means I'm talking too long, huh? I am completely in a writer's block and haven't written anything for months. How do you get over it? I'm writing historical fiction. Okay, so historical fiction is really hard because historical fiction, you're gonna have a bunch of these like obsessed people and like these absolute fanatics and actual historians coming out with their keyboards being like, that's not how Anne Boleyn did. So that can kind of get in your head a little bit as well. But I always am trying to say to people, you're an author, therefore you're a storyteller, you're not a historian. You know, do the best research you can, but kind of just still have fun with it a little bit. You know, don't get too locked up, and that could be a problem. You could be nervous about, you know, feeling like you might be a little bit historically inaccurate. I don't really like to say writer's block. I like to say writer's pause. Have you ever been talking to somebody and they don't shut up and they're just like blah 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 blah, and you kind of want to punch them in the face? Your brain might be doing that. Your brain might be like, okay, I've exhausted all of my resources right now. I need a pause, I need a break. I also would suggest you maybe watching movies or watching that are set in a historical period, or even researching things that have actually happened in history and maybe kind of taking some of that to be inspired in your work. For example, for me, I really wanted to build the world of what's called a gullet in my book, in my series, and they're very much based off of Vikings. Namely, one of the things, well, the gullets don't do this, but in my book they do. You'll see it in the second book more. But supposedly Vikings would like use ashes of their enemies' bones to make their swords stronger. It's so metal. So I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. I could, you know, world build and plug that in there. My third part, I think, is what I want to say, is that it's okay to have a just scenery. It's okay to just write a little bit of the scenery around. Use that chance to maybe build the world a bit more. Like if your character is laying on a bed in the last chapter and she's thinking about, let's say, her Civil War lover or whatever, you can use that next chapter as a really good time to like set the feeling of what's going on around her, create more of like a vibe and an atmosphere. And sometimes that will get the cogwheels turning. So you can also explain like what she's been through. Maybe you just need an actual time break where, like, let's say 6 months have passed. Sometimes if you go by day by day by day, or week by week, or month by month, it can become a little cumbersome and it feels like the story's dragging. Michaela says, I've had a book idea for children's books for over a year now, but I'm afraid no one will buy them. How do I even get started? I could be like really rude right now, but I'm gonna try to be very nice. I would like to just, when you say I'm afraid no one will buy them, there's like an 80% chance no one will. And I'm only saying that off of my experiences with, there's a lot of people that I've had that have come at me saying, I've had children's books on the market for like whatever, and the only people buying them are my friends and family. I can't really help you with that because I'm not into children's books. That's probably a whole entirely different marketing plan, which it probably is. But I know that so many people doing them are doing them, and the competition is probably very, very, very fierce. So take that to the face, because I needed to take that to the face. I thought all I had to do was just like, oh, this is an awesome story. I'm just going to throw an ad up on Facebook and people will buy it. It is grueling, grueling work. So go into it knowing people probably won't buy it, but it can take years and years and years, or you could be lucky and hit overnight success. You need to build that following, but you're never going to have anybody buy it if you don't write it. So how to get started? Write it. Ryan literally commented this right before I posted this. When can we have a jam session? Lol. I need more people to play guitar and sing with Ryan. I didn't even know you really lived in the same town as me. I didn't know that. And if you've told me you've played guitar before, I am so sorry. I am probably one of the spaciest people you'll ever meet. My brain is like on the rings of Saturn right now. My brother's been wanting me to play with him at his church as the lead guitarist for like a year now. And it started to get going, but I'm just so busy. These are all across Instagram and TikTok. Hawk. I don't know your actual name. I've tried selling everywhere and no one will buy my book. I'm 23 and it's 600 pages. Wow, Brandon Sanderson. And it's 600 pages long about a girl who gets kidnapped by a dragon but finds out later he's a king. I just learned this yesterday about querying for agents for traditional publishing. If you have a book or a manuscript that's over 80,000 words long, you're probably going to get rejected. 80,000 words is like around 330 pages, I think. So you're like almost double that. Does your cover art pop? Targeting your audience right on, meta ads and stuff like that. Did you actually edit it? Dragon lore is very popular. And once again, it's a saturated market that's very hard to kind of stand out. So you're really gonna have to grip people. I am so sorry that nobody will buy your book. Your book actually sounds interesting. If you actually have it, you should send it my way because I would love to read it. That sounds really cool. And I love supporting fellow authors and stuff like that. You're very young. So it might be that you just haven't really branched out enough yet. I think that maybe you should try looking at ARC readers, advanced reader copy readers, and beta readers. I think beta readers right now, even more than an editor, they're gonna be your best friends, because beta readers will read your book before it's even ready for like a copy to be given to people, and they will say this sucks or this is awesome and this is what's wrong with it. I just realized that I have 2 beta readers now and I'm so excited to let them read as I'm working along with the second sequel. The second sequel, that was redundant. Oh, actually, I got a great idea. Bing. I actually was getting ready to run an ad, but I confided in my ARC readers and my social media following, and I had 2 ads set side by side. They're your consumers. Ask their opinion. Which ad stood out to you more? They all voted on one. Almost 99% of them voted on one. That was the ad that I launched, that it was more eye-catching for them. It was like, oh my God. I know that on day 1, I doubled my monthly sales goal for my book in day 1 because of that. So talk to your friends, say, hey, does this look like a cool ad? Or share parts of your work with people. Hey, does this sound intriguing? You got to start getting feedback as to why. Editing, book cover, plot holes, ARC readers, beta readers. See, brain's flying away. All right, Taylor, should I go with indie publishing or trad? I've seen that you're indie. Are you liking it so far? No, I hate it. I'm gonna be honest. I think I've learned very recently that indie versus traditional publishing really depends on your goals. If you are somebody who just wants to do it as a hobby and you're not really necessarily looking to get overly big, but you just want to do it for fun, indie is definitely the way that you can go. Traditional, I feel I'm starting to learn it's more for like the serious author that wants to be the full-time author. And everybody wants to say, with traditional, you got to wait for possibly up to a year for agents to get back to you. Well, you're also going to have to wait for like a year probably to build up your following on social media anyway. And me, I have shoveled down almost, ready for this, drum roll please, $11,000 on this book. Literally, I am not kidding. For 2 times of, 2 or 3 times, I can't remember, I think it was 2 times, of a New York Times best-selling editor to edit it. I originally had a different cover and that was $500. I didn't like it. I changed it out and I got this cover instead. And it was $600 because the price went up. And then I'm paying $2,200 for a marketer. Not to mention the cost for running ads, the cost for things like Canva, to have a membership for Canva. other types of editing tools that you might need to make these beautiful, stunning graphics. If you need an artist to do your character designs or your map designing, if you want to do conventions like what I'm doing on June 14th at RenteroCon in St. Joe, Missouri, you're going to have this stuff to sell, which you have to pay. I've spent about $350 on merch to make merch and then to sell stuff like this. And then, you know, gas costs and hotel accommodations and things like that. It is not cheap. It is not for the faint of heart. Will I ever go traditional? I might start trying to query for people, because everybody has it in their mind that publishing companies are going to be telling you like, oh, we need to change all this stuff. But if you have like a right agent that will represent you good and strong, that's not necessarily true. So I encourage you to really navigate what route you want to try and just pick one and just go for it. Megan, how did you come up with the idea for your book, and how many words can you write a day? I can actually write about 7,000 to 10,000 words a day. I'm a very fast typer. I'm not kidding. My average WPM is 87 words a minute. It depends. Normally I try to get about 3,500 in every day. The idea of my book came from a dream that I had of two men in castle ruins. If you look on my ebook description on Amazon, it actually kind of goes more into detail about that. Anna, I've got a full-time job and I'm raising kids and I have no idea how you manage it. I don't have kids. I don't have kids. So it might be a little bit easier for me than for you. On my job, I take 20-minute breaks and I'll sit there and I'll write for like 10 minutes. I give myself breaks, I give myself time. I definitely have, with my music career and my job, and then this, it definitely does feel like it gets pretty overwhelming. But I do know that things that help are like little shortcuts in life. Like sometimes the laundry's not gonna get folded. Like it took me 25 minutes to put my laundry away. I could have had almost half of my goal done by then, my writing goal for the day. And that reminds me, if you write only 500 words a day, you can write like 2 books a year, which is really, really, really good. So even if it's just like, hey kids, go watch some cartoon, I don't know what it is, or you put the kids down for a nap, or it's 30 minutes before bedtime, instead of scrolling on your phone, write on your book and you'll get so much done. I also have other little shortcuts, like I kind of have like quick meals that are easy for me to like reach for. Cooking takes up a lot of my time. So I'll just like buy those big salad containers and I buy like little salad storage things, and I'll plop a bunch of stuff, a bunch of salad in that, and I'll plop a bunch of like feta cheese in that, a bunch of almonds in that. And then I buy like like at Sprouts, they have like beets that are already cooked and peeled, and I'll just chop those up and put them in there. Buy pre-chopped onions, put them in there, and then buy like pre-made chicken that's like the rotisserie stuff and just put it in there, and slice up oranges and put it in the other little, you know, slot. And it takes me less than 10 minutes to make lunch for the entire week, and cleanup is like non-existent. So, and I have like a very set routine with my food, so it kind of takes out like that guesswork and stuff like that. So bulk cooking or meal planning, things that can cut down on time and things like that, they're really, really, really helpful. So make sure you tell your family, hey, look, this really means a lot to me. This is so important. I have a roommate who is also my best friend and my singer, and I am so lucky to have her, because the other day when I was really like in the zone, I just hear her doing dishes. And she knows how much this whole writing thing means to me. And she cooked dinner and she did the dishes for me because I was so busy with other stuff that day. She was like, no, go work on your book and go write. If you tell your family like, hey, this means a lot to me, can you give me just 10 minutes of space so I can do this? Support from your family can really go a long way. But anyway, guys, cheers to you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know this was a long video, but thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys learned something. Like I said, my book, A Promise Kept, A Guardian's Travail, is out on Amazon. It is about a blind girl that must defy all odds to rise as a guardian in her small village to help bring a lost friend home. So then the sequel, the Persuvian Saga, is going to be out this year, and it joins our wonderful lead heroine in a very dark, corrupted empire. Thank you so much, guys. Cheers. Stay well.